What do you do when the grind, that daily grind, just feels too much? Let's find out. Hello friends, welcome back. Subscribe as per normal, let's get on with it. So what do you do when the daily grind, that kind of daily hustle, whatever you're doing, whether it's a job, business, sport, training, all that sort of stuff, what do you do when that daily grind just gets just too much? You're exhausted, you're burnt out, you've just had enough. Well, I've been thinking about this today. Today's been a bit of a, let's say, less than optimal day. Let's not say crappy day, but it's been a crappy day. But you've got me thinking about, well, you know, what to do when that kind of, you're just like, oh Jesus, I've had enough. So what I want to do is just go over 4 things that I think are worth thinking about if you're in that situation. Possibly overwhelmed, or just energy's low, maybe, you may be tired, you may be unwell, and just things are kind of, you're constantly hitting that brick wall and you just, I know that you are totally responsible and I am totally responsible for yours and my moods, but sometimes, you know, life is there and life just kind of throws you curveballs after curveball, and yes, we decide how we react to it, but if we're not quite running at an optimal strength because they're tired or ill or emotionally just a bit flat, then we're hitting that and it's hard, it makes it harder. So these are 4 things that you could possibly think about and sort of maybe use to help you get over that sticking point. First thing is to just remain laser focused on the goal, whatever the goal is. Now, I said if you're training for sport, then it's quite obvious what the goal is, whether it's a competition or something. If you're studying and the goal is possibly an exam at the end of the year or end of the term. If you're building a business and the goal is a certain level of success or to grow it to a certain thing, whatever the thing is you're kind of working towards in life, just stay laser focused on that. And that means literally laser focused. Stop taking into consideration stuff on social media and any kind of negativity at all. I've spoken about this a number of times about not watching the news, reading newspapers, and just not letting any of that negative into your life, because it has no benefit at all. Zero. Particularly if you're in a low energy or a low mood, you feel that things are just sort of against you and you're trying to climb out of a situation. Don't just limit, completely get rid of anything negative at all, because the slightest thing can just knock you down. That means not scrolling through Facebook or Instagram or YouTube or whatever your sort of social media platform of choice is. So be it. That's it. It is what it is. Just be laser focused on what you're trying to achieve, and that's it. You know, literally everything else. And I mean that literally. Just do not get involved in anything else. Just your focus should be on that goal, whatever that goal is to you. And that may seem very perhaps obsessed or very sort of narrow-minded, but yes, you have to be, because you want to eliminate all of the other bullshit around and just keep on your eyes and your mind on that one goal, whatever that is. You just want to be focused on that. The second thing may be a bit deeper, and it's to allow yourself to have the emotions that are possibly bad or upsetting or uncomfortable and go through them. Don't bury them. And I know I'm guilty of doing this in the past, now, you know, a number of times, but go through the emotions and feel them and really sort of process them. Don't just push them away and go,
no, that's it, I'm not going to acknowledge this sort of negative.
If you're feeling sad, if you're feeling upset, depressed, angry, whatever the feeling is, the emotion you've got, go through it. Embrace that emotion. Just live the emotion. Don't try to fight it or get away from it, because the only way you can really get past something is if you literally go through it. You either get it out the way or you go through it, and getting it out of the way just suppresses it, so it will come back later on and bite you harder. I can't remember what the exact thing is, but you know, when there's so many stages of grief that you go through, there's obviously upset and anger and etc. And the point is to go through all of them so you can fully grieve and get through that process. And that's the same with any emotion. The more you go through it and accept it for what it is. I feel this anger, this upset, this sadness, loss, and it is because of reason XYZ, and I'm just going to go through it and kind of process it. Then it's sort of over and done with. It's finished with, and you've gone through that and you've accepted it. Done. The more you try to push it aside and bury it and ignore it, it may go away for a while, but it will come back harder and really eat you up, and it's a sort of a dangerous thing to keep suppressing emotions. So sit with those emotions and accept them for what they are, and if you're upset, you're upset. Just go with it, just process it, live through it, be upset, but then come out the other side. Alongside that one is a very similar point, and it's embrace pain and discomfort. If you're in this emotional funk and you're feeling upset, depressed, sad, at a loss, whatever it may be, there's a degree of pain and discomfort with that. And like the idea of not suppressing the emotion, embrace the pain and discomfort. Really want it, because the more you embrace it and the more you take that on, the quicker you'll get through it and you'll feel better. It really does work like that. And so it's not about going,
oh, and it's a horrible, horrible feeling, this pain, this heartache, so I don't want to go through that.
That event has happened and that's caused you to have this sort of visceral effect, this emotional, physical effect. That's it. There's no, oh, no, it's there. So you have to go through that and accept it and embrace it and just go through it, rather than try to skirt round it and almost like,
no, it's fine, I'll get over it, I'll man up and I'll deal with it.
No, because again, that will fester and eat you up sometime later or just slowly over time. Just deal with emotions and pain and discomfort and, as I said, embrace it and just go through it. The quicker you do that, the quicker you'll come out the other side a stronger and better person, and there's nothing sort of left behind festering and that's going to come and get you. It's horrible. There's no nice way of, experiencing it, but it's an important thing to experience to get through it. Yeah, that's it. And the last thing, perhaps a bit negative in its outlook, but it's possibly very stoic, and it's expect things to be much harder and more uncomfortable than you think they might be. If you're going to go through any sort of situation, building a business, a relationship, starting a relationship, ending a relationship, whatever it is, any kind of particular thing in life, have that expectation that it's going to be much more difficult and take possibly longer time than you would have originally thought. That way you're setting yourself up for a better situation with regard to expectations, because if you think, oh, this is going to be this hard and it's going to take this amount of time, and it's actually this hard and takes this amount of time, you feel like you're ahead. Whereas if you think it's going to take this time and it takes this time, then you feel much more challenged and much more sort of that the world is against you because it's taken a lot longer. Build in the fact it's going to take 10 times as long and 10 times more effort. That way you're going to work harder for it. If you've got your target, assume your target is 10 times that what you want, and therefore put 10 times the effort in. That way you're going to supersede your target like that easily, and even if you don't meet this 10x target, you've way surpassed your original target. Things do take a lot more effort, but if you just put in the effort you think it's going to take and it takes more, you're going to fall short. It's often going to take much more effort and time than you probably think. So why not assume it's going to take more and put that much more effort in? Therefore you're going to hit the target and go above it kind of easily, because you're aiming for this sort of super stretch target. So just assume and expect everything to be much harder and much more uncomfortable than you would have originally thought. And that way you're kind of building in a massive amount of comfort factor tolerance that you'll hit the target and keep going. And then when you sort of finish, you're like, right, I didn't make the stretch target, but I'd doubled what I originally wanted to do. And that way, psychologically, it's much, much better and puts you in a much better position for kind of just comfort and just being happy, basically. So that's all I've got time for today. Relatively quick episode, but I wanted to just share those 4 things with a view to kind of helping you if you are sort of struggling or you've got a bit of a day you're like I've had today. And let me know if you sort of had days, I'm sure you all have, where you kind of just a bit hitting that wall and just everything's just kind of boom, 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 kind of going wrong. And how have you dealt with that? Have you sort of just gone into a bit of a funk and shut yourself away, or have you sort of battled it and kind of kept going and laser focused? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear. And if you did get some value and like this episode, as per normal, smash that like button till it's nice and blue. And don't forget to subscribe. That'd be lovely. 197. Thank you, George. Appreciate it. Thank you to Gemma. Always an inspiration. I know it's very PewDiePie, but so what. Again, thank you for coming along and appreciate your comments and everything. And for now, see you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye. Thanks again for watching, guys. I really do appreciate it. If you haven't subscribed already, make sure you do so down here, and check out my other video down here. And remember, live your best life and profit from that passion. See you next time. Bye-bye.